when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
This morning show today is June the 2nd, Monday, June the 2nd. Yes, we are into a new month, the 6th month of the year already. Yes, time is flying. I hope you were well rested for the weekend and you're ready to go for the first work week in June. I hope you're up. You had your food, you had your breakfast, you had your tea, coffee, or whatever it is that gets you started in the morning. We have some discussions to have this morning. We're going to have an extended interview this morning with a very interesting individual, public figure. And we'll get more into that later on. But for now, we head to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Akin Labi. Here is your news in 90 seconds from Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Frank Sandy, 74, of Mount St. George, Tobago, was fatally shot by an off-duty police officer who claimed Sandy tried to break into his home and charged at him. Sandy, who suffered memory loss, may have mistaken the officer's house for his own after a disoriented early morning walk. His daughter Melissa said Sandy was unarmed, frail, and incapable of violence. She criticized the police's treatment of her father both before and after his death. The family has little faith in justice but hopes for accountability. Officers of the Tobago Division are investigating the incident. Up next, on May 30th, 2025, Tobago Police destroyed a marijuana field worth an estimated $525,000. Around 300 cannabis plants were found on a quarter-acre plot in a forested area off Bel River Road, Belgarden. The operations, conducted between 5 to 8 a.m., was led by PC Antoine and involved the Tobago Divisional Task Force and Special Investigations Unit. A camp and drying rack were also discovered. The field was destroyed and investigations are ongoing. Senior officers, including Woman ASP Acting Sharon Williams and Woman Inspector Bacchus, coordinated the exercise. And finally, the One Caribbean Music Festival failed to deliver on its promise, leaving fans disappointed at the Queen's Park Savannah on Saturday night. Headliner Vibes Cartel was a no-show due to promoter mismanagement issues. News of his absence broke hours before the event, sparking concerns among fans. Despite gates open at 9 p.m., the first live act appeared after midnight. Local and regional performers like Joshua Regalo, Chronic Law, and Lady Lava tried to salvage the night, but with missing acts like Sizzler and Melidon, patrons were visibly frustrated. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Biana, for that news in 90 seconds. And I heard a news story talking about the unfortunate shooting of the pensioner in Mount St. George. It's really unfortunate that these kinds of incidents, this is the second type of kind of incident of a police shooting for the year in Tobago, and I know a lot of persons are very concerned with those developments, and we hope that the TTPS would be able to have a investigation into the matter, and that we come to a conclusion of what really transpired in Mount St. George.
Yes. It was really unfortunate for Trude, and you know, when I saw the age, I said, I thought probably, was a mistake, but then after the news came across on the air, and I was like, my God.
Yes, it's really, a lot of persons have a lot of questions concerning the matter, and we hope that the investigation will be carried out and there will be as much transparency as possible, because we know that there is the lingering matter of a lack of trust in the police service in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right, and as the daughter said, she hopes that there's some level of accountability where that situation is concerned.
Yes, we really hope so.
Yeah.
But in more uplifting news, we had a good performance at the Miss World competition over the weekend, Biana.
Yes, Akinlabi. Though we were not in the first 5, we were in the first 10, Miss Trinidad and Tobago, Annalise Nanton. So congratulations to her for, showing Trinidad and Tobago on the world.
Yes, and I'm really heartened by her performance, because for a while we were really down there. We weren't doing too well at these global competitions, beauty pageants. But over the past few years, we've been getting back into our stride and really starting to come back up to the top, back up to where we were in the 90s with persons like Michelle Khan and Wendy Fitzwilliams and so forth, and Margot Bourgeois and those kinds of persons.
Yes.
So I really like to see that we're really getting back to where we used to be in terms of our performances at these global beauty pageants.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Biana, and I hope that you have a productive and safe day, and I hope you take that energy into the rest of the work week.
Yes, same to you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it's that time of the morning. It's that time where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shoutouts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and we start right off the bat with Mr. Barry Nelson. Mr. Barry Nelson is a well-known figure in Tobago, a political activist. He's very outspoken about the issues affecting Tobago. And we'll say happy birthday to you, Mr. Barry Nelson. We wish you God's richest blessings, and we hope that your friends and your family and your co-workers take good care of you today. I hope you don't take the day off, but I hope you go to work, they take good care of you, and you go home and you have a nice dinner, nice gifts, and you take the time off to reflect on God's blessings in your life. Next up, Miss Mersha Rowley. We say happy birthday to you, Miss Mersha Rowley. We wish you God's richest blessings, and we hope that you are showered with love throughout this day. Happy birthday, Miss Rowley. We move on to Miss Kalana James. Happy birthday to you, Miss Kalana James. God's richest blessings on your special day. We wish you the best today, and we hope that you have a nice, relaxing day where you can reflect on all the blessings you have received thus far. Happy birthday. And we say happy belated birthday to Miss Kamaria Miller. Happy belated birthday to you, Miss Kamaria Miller, and I hope that you had a very enjoyable day over the weekend, and I hope that you can take that blessing into this next year. We also say happy birthday to Miss Shannon Baptiste. Happy belated, that is. Happy belated birthday to Miss Shannon Baptiste. We hope that you enjoyed your celebrations over the weekend, and we wish you God's richest blessings in the year to come. We say happy birthday to Mr. Corwin Lynch. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Lynch. Wish you God's richest blessings on this your special day, and we hope that you take some time off to reflect on your life and your plans and all your objectives for the next year. We wish you the greatest of success. And finally, we say happy birthday to Miss Kadeen Burris. Yes, Miss Kadeen Burris, we say happy birthday to you, and we wish you God's richest blessings on today, your special day, yes, and we hope that your family and your friends shower you with love and appreciation. Happy birthday to you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and for those of you who are celebrating, whatever you're celebrating, you can share it with us, and we will share it with Tobago and with the world. So for today's discussion, we have in studio on the line with us this morning, Mr. P.S. Robinson, who's a political strategist and consultant, and we will be discussing the ongoing matter of the new TRHA ambulances. Yes, the new TRHA ambulances. But before we do that, we have to go on a break. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages with Mr. Robinson on the inside.
When the game is on, You don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear...
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Harblow Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
Saving up to go. Anything we not backing down, like a bomb we ready to explode. Ain't gonna wait until my back against the wall. Ain't gonna.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have on the line with us Mr. P.S. Robinson. Yes, Mr. P.S. Robinson, who is an investigative journalist. And he recently broke a story regarding some ambulances and some issues being faced by purchase of a number of ambulances by the Tobago Regional Health Authority. Good morning, Mr. Robinson, and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
So you can hear me clearly, Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Robinson, I know that you would have made some claims concerning the ambulances, that the ambulances are defective and they're not roadworthy, they don't have approvals in terms of their safety to carry passengers and also for the staff that will be operating the ambulances. Can you just give us some insight into why you are saying these ambulances are dangerous?
Okay, so before I do so, I have to actually set the context, right? Well, first of all, good morning, Tobago, and thank you for welcoming into your homes this morning. I appreciate you, Akinlabi, and of course the team at Tobago Updates, because you're doing an important role in playing your part as the fourth estate and informing Tobagonians about the issues that matter. Now, I have to begin by saying that as somebody who believes in service, right? Somebody who believes that public office is not a reward, it's a responsibility. We have to look at what took place that unfolded with the Tobago Regional Health Authority as totally and utterly scandalous. What it is, it represents a warning when public officials, such as the secretary, treat accountability as though it is an option, when truth is buried under bureaucracy. And I would have hoped that Tobago Updates would have played some of the clips that I shared with you this morning to set the context so that I could break it down, right? But when truth is buried under bureaucracy and people are told to accept what they did not ask for, such as these ambulances, which I'll get into in a second, right? And we're told to remain silent when we know better, that's unacceptable, right? The thing is, Tobago paid for ambulances that were supposed to be Isuzu ambulances, right? What ended up turning up in Tobago was a bunch of scrap metal, right? all that glitters is not gold, and it certainly was a bootlegged attempt to deceive Tobagonians. The TRHA originally procured Isuzu ambulances, as I just mentioned, right?
Yes.
And that's what was evaluated. Sorry, did you say something?
No, I was going to ask you, so why do you say the ambulances are not roadworthy?
Right, because basically when the procurement came before the TRHA, they were procuring Isuzu ambulances. What ended up actually occurring is that upon delivery, it was something totally different. So they slap paint on a 1980s bus-up van, paint it white, and you call it new, and all of that for $17 million. And Mr. Contractor's laughing all the way to the bank. He money inside, and your money is gone.
So
these force.
So, Mr. Robinson, do you have documentation to prove that these ambulances are not roadworthy, or allegedly not roadworthy?
Yes, so in fact, having spoken to a number of staff members at the TRHA, right, they have, I've seen quite a number of documents, in fact, that shows from the very beginning to the very end, all of the procured documents was for the Isuzu vehicles. So at no point in time, right, were we talking about forced travel ambulances. These forced traveler units were never designed to be ambulances, and when they were retrofitted with oxygen tanks, fuel systems, and these medical components that were mandated by our regulations, it didn't take into account that the design of these vehicles from the manufacturer in India is for much more lightweight equipment. And so one of the reasons that I decided to forcefully address this matter is because these vehicles don't have proper fire suppression mechanisms. They're not internationally certified. They're the bottom of the barrel. They're unstructurally unsound, right? And they're not designed for the requirements of Tobago. It is a recipe for disaster. And I want to say very, boldly this morning to all Tobagonians gathered, do not step foot into these vehicles, not a toe, not a limb, not a stretcher. It is a recipe for disaster.
But Mr. Robinson, if they desperately need to get to the hospital, they'll have to go into the ambulances.
So are you suggesting that you're putting the lives of Tobagonians, Akinabi, at risk when staff members at the TRHA have been protesting since 2024, even before these came, right? Because the original idea of the procurement department, before this contractor was slotted in at the end point, was that you're going to phase the ambulances purchase, right? In batches of 4, okay? Yeah. So you get it, you assess it, you determine if it's suitable, you do your relevant tests, and then of course, if it satisfies the criteria, then of course it can, be used. But what was found and what was objected to in the procurement department across the TRHA was that this was not what was agreed. This is not what Tobago paid for, right? $17 million went running somewhere, and then you're left with something that is structurally unsound, where people's lives are at risk, where you're putting things and connecting things with an unstructurally unsound vehicle and putting people's lives at risk.
So, Mr. Robinson, you spoke about the testing of the vehicles and its failing. If they didn't pass those testings, how did we get to the point of procuring these vehicles? Okay,
let's put it this way. So the people met at the TRHA, the vehicles were procured, everything, as far as everybody was concerned, was the Isuzu ambulances, right? You did the batches of 4, and then, you decide the payment terms and whatnot. But all of this understanding was then overruled, right? when people objected and said, listen, there's something wrong here because we've just received something, it's not what we paid for, they were overruled.
So, Mr. Robinson.
And once, go ahead.
Oh, no, you finish your thought.
Okay, so I'm trying to answer your questions, but you keep interjecting. So ask the question again, and I'll be able to answer you.
No, I was asking about the procurement process. If it is that these did not meet the standard, they weren't approved, how was it? Did you get to the point of procuring these vehicles?
Okay, that's definitely the question for the Tobago House of Assembly and TRHA. What I'm saying to you is that the staff, everybody who worked on the procurement process, was of the understanding that when they went through the process, this was supposed to be the vehicles that we were receiving, right? Which was the Isuzu ambulances. That did not happen, right?
Right.
Somewhere along the line, some kind of confusion happened because the person who the TRHA entrusted in bringing these ambulances across, they delivered something completely different, and that's the point.
So, Mr. Robinson, you keep speaking about in terms of definitively, you are saying or you are alleging definitively that those within the procurement unit of the TRHA, they didn't want these specific ambulances. Do you have the documentation to produce to the people of Tobago to show that the ambulances that were actually procured were against the wishes of the procurement unit?
So I'm here this morning on Tobago Updates telling you that this is the situation. I've had conversations with the TRHA. I was encouraging your team to play the video at the beginning of the thing to show what the secretary said so that we could unpack that. That is what we discussed. That didn't happen, right? So you try to, change the narrative of the conversation, and that's not what we discussed, right? So ask me the questions that we said we're going to discuss, and then we can deal with these things accordingly.
Yes, I understand that, but I just needed some clarity on those
if you
matters.
want the people of Tobago, to understand the facts, right? It's important to give the chronology of events, right? We start off with what the secretary stated, right, in the assembly, that she doesn't have any idea whatsoever of the procurement process. That is not acceptable. She doesn't know how the decisions were made, but $17 million of Tobagonians' money was set outside for ambulances that are butter. Okay? That is not good enough, because according to Section 41(1)(c) of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, any expenditure over $1 million must be approved by the Executive Council. And that is where we begin.
So
that's where we begin.
Right,
and so that's why it's important to, in unpacking these things, to start from the beginning
Mr.
and try
Robinson?
to unpack these things. There's been, go ahead.
Robinson, right now the technical team is working on getting those videos lined up to be played, but in the meantime...
I sent it since yesterday. I cut it up for you. I sent it since yesterday to be prepared for this morning.
I understand that, but they're working on it right now to get it
So,
played,
I
but in
mean,
the
the
meantime...
technical team had some time, right? And I did advise that I could come here tomorrow so that you have time to put things, and you said, no, we'll have everything ready. So that's not acceptable. So anyway, go ahead, please.
Yes, I understand your concerns, but I was just letting you know that
if you want to give Tobagonians the facts, right, it's important to be honest with the way that we're doing stuff. We had a conversation. This is how it's going to go. You didn't stick to that. So go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Robinson. So continuing on the conversation, you are stating also, you're alleging also that the TRHA board is illegal. Could you expound on what you mean by that?
Absolutely, it's simple. The TRHA board's term expired in January 2025. There's been no formal extension, no reappointment, no executive council order confirming its legality. From that point on, every decision taken by the board was without legal authority. So when they signed off, some of these procurement deals, accepted delivery and approved millions in payments, they were doing so illegally. And so when the secretary did not correct that, she left an expired board in place, making decisions over taxpayers' funds. That's not just wrong, it's an institutional failure. It undermines every principle of lawful governance. And according to the law, and that's why I wanted you to focus on the stuff that we agreed, so that Tobagonians can have the correct chronology of events. And if Tobagonians want to understand that chronology, go on my page, I did 1 to 5, you can see it for yourself. According to the law, once a board's tenure ends, it must either be reappointed or reconstituted by the appropriate authority so that it may act lawfully. This did not happen.
Mr. Robinson.
Instead, the board has continued to meet to approve spending and, crucially, to oversee procurement decisions, even though its legal authority no longer exists.
Okay, and I'm concerning...
But hold on, let me just explain something, right?
Yes.
In plain language for Tobagonians. Imagine you're part of a union and your elected executive term ends. If they stay on without re-election, without ratification, without legal mandate, every MOU they sign, every benefit change, every wage negotiation is invalid. Why? Because they have no legal standing. And if they try to act anyway, it is a breach of the law and an insult to the members, just as this is an insult to Tobagonians. This board should have been stood down. The secretary had the power and the responsibility to regularize the board status and even advocate for them to operate within the law. She didn't. She allowed an expired board to continue operating, and every decision they have made is why we are here today. And it is the Tobago Regional Health Authority staff who have been coming to me. This information come out from nowhere, You feel I just woke up in the morning and regurgitated this. This is from inside the belly. Tobagonians are coming forward because they are seeing wrongdoing taking place. And it is time and I commended you guys in the beginning. But the way that this is going, I don't think it is as genuine as it could be. So if you want me to deal with the situation in this way, we can, right?
Mr. Robinson, we have to go for a break, but when we come back from the break, we'll continue the conversations. Stick with us, viewers. We'll be right back after these messages. But do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live for these messages.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have to be cousin Tofina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driving? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trade Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people, them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trade Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TTBet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorns Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorns Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up. It's more than a brunch. It's an experience.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we continue the conversation with investigative journalist Mr. P.S. Robinson. Good morning, Mr. Robinson, and we want to continue the conversations. First,
okay, are you all ready to play the video? Has the technical team found the videos so that we can start from that point? Or are you still struggling with the videos that I cut up for you already?
Yes. I want to apologize for the technical problems. It doesn't seem as if we'll be able to play those clips.
You can play it. Okay, because if we had played the videos that I sent and cut up for you guys, what Tobagonians would have seen was the secretary making a statement, a video that I edited for you guys to explain my part of the situation so we could focus on the issues. It's important to give Tobagonians the facts and not skew the record. I understand that people have THA jobs that they're trying to protect, right? But let's not skylark this morning, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the situation and you'll give me the opportunity to do that. Please, thank you. Because you can't plant peas and expect to reap corn. We can't keep making the same bad decisions and expecting good outcomes. Not in healthcare, not with taxpayers' money, and certainly not with people's lives. And if anybody in the THA or the TRHA feels that they're going to put Tobagonians' lives at risk by putting them in a bus-stop ambulance, are going to come back there and stop it. Right? Tobago paid for a fleet of bus-up Rakatang vehicles that are 2 nudges away from an explosion to serve its people.
We're going to give you the opportunity, Mr. Robinson.
And what no, you're going to give me the opportunity to speak because you didn't do so just now.
I'm giving you the opportunity to explain the circumstance. No, I'm
Go
giving
ahead.
you the space to go ahead and explain the circumstance. We just don't have the videos to play, but I'm giving you the space to
Well, that's
explain the
unfortunate
circumstance.
because you had the time and you had a long break just now. I thought you're getting the things in game. And what arrived instead was a line of vehicles that nobody approved, nobody requested, and by the TRHA's own standards should never have been put on the road. Every document, every timeline, every voice from within the TRHA tells the same story. This was not our decision. This was imposed on us. I am not here for the setup, okay? Because this was a setup. I told y'all, get the things in gear. I can come tomorrow if you're not ready. You said, no, Mr. Robinson, please, please. I'm here because truth is being twisted. The Secretary of Health stood in the Tobago House of Assembly and told Tobagonians that the TRHA is a private company. It is y'all who has to say, actually, Secretary, you're wrong, right? The TRHA is not a private company. That was a deliberate attempt to distance herself from a decision that risked public safety. We have to speak plainly now, because you got me to that stage. These ambulances are not fit for the public. Nobody is to go with them. And if you want to put Tobagonians in there, put your own family. Don't put the rest of the nation at risk. These forced traveler units delivered to Tobago are the lowest grade of ambulance on the international market. They are not certified under any recognized international emergency vehicle code. They were never designed to carry oxygen cylinders that we imposed in it, right? These are lightweight things from India that is designed for a low kind of setting, not for our setting. The bodies that were retrofitted hastily with no certified compression systems, no proper ventilation, and no separation between the oxygen tanks and the fuel sources, that is a recipe for disaster. We cannot sit here and throw that under the thing. The secretary said, she has no business, it's not her business. What do you mean? This is a fire risk, it is an explosion risk. There are people inside the TRHA, someone who risked his own job. Let us have respect for Tobagonians. You've worked in the THA. You know that people are afraid to speak out, and that is why they came to me, to stand tall for them. These vehicles are dangerous. They failed every test. If you want a vehicle that has failed the test to go on the roads and service Tobagonians, that is you. It is not me, and I will not allow it.
Mr. Robinson,
let me tell the Secretary of Health something, right? The TRHA is a statutory authority created under Section 31 of the Regional Health Authorities Act. Statutory authorities are creatures of law. They are funded by the taxpayers, governed by statute, and subject to ministerial and executive council approval. And just as I said before, Section 41, 1C of the Tobago House of Assembly Act says any expenditure exceeding 1 million requires executive council approval. If anybody, you included, wants to disprove that, go to the legislation and look at it. We're talking facts here. That is the law. It is not a suggestion. It is not optional. And it's certainly not something to pretend you don't understand when you're caught in a corner.
Mr.
I will not allow the people of Tobago to be misled. I will not allow bureaucratic confusion to override public health. I will never accept a system where silence is rewarded and truth is punished.
Mr. Robinson,
I am here to fight back against that and stand in the gap and to say that no matter how deep the intimidation runs, no matter how many people try to rewrite the narrative, I will not back down. Not for a job, not for a contract, not for fair, because Tobago deserves the truth.
Mr. Robinson, you stated in your investigations, right? In your investigations, were you able to determine whether the executive council note that went forward for approval for the purchases of these ambulances, did they state the Isuzu ambulances, or did they state the Travel Fox? Is it Travel Fox? Force Traveler, sorry. The Force Traveler ambulances.
Okay, so from the beginning to the end of the procurement process at the TRHA, it has only ever been the Isuzu vehicles, full stop, end of story. So now we need, as Tobagonians and Trinidadians and all concerned people, to ask the TRHA and the THA how the hell we end up with a bus-up scrap metal vehicle when we paid for Isuzu vehicles at the tune of $17 million. That scrap metal that even go up hill is $19 million. And I don't think that's what you're telling me here this morning. And I don't think that's what you're defending here this morning.
So you broke up for a little bit. I missed what you said there.
I said, I don't think that is what you're defending here this morning or telling me this morning.
Before
that scrap metal that can't even go up the hill in Hope, that shutting down, right? I hope that's not what you're telling me this morning, right? That is not worth that. We did not pay for that. Tobago did not get what it paid for.
Okay. And you mentioned that a third-party company. Could you just expound on that matter?
Yeah, a third-party company was involved, and that is Biomedical Technologies, I believe, was listed. And that company never had any history in procuring ambulances. In fact, they're a medical products company. And so, once again, we need to understand how the hell did they even get into the mix when they don't have the experience? How did the THA, as the secretary said, allow for $17 million to be expended, and she doesn't know who, what, where, and when? If you played the video, this would have been great.
So is it that this third party company, were they involved in the procurement process? Were they contacted by the procurement unit to bring in the vehicles, the ambulances, or did they come into the process afterwards?
The procurement, as far as when things went out, RFPs and so on, the committee that was established to find the relevant parties, several people received that RFP. As I understand from staff in the Tobago Regional Health Authority, at some later point in the process, somebody came in, a third party, and offered the lowest bid, which was then selected, but they weren't originally part of that discussion. And that company somehow ended up getting the contract for this, just as some companies have for the incinerators and stuff for Trinidadian companies in Tobago. There's a lot going on that has been done by this board, right? That is improper, but the board is not even legal. So all of these decisions fall squarely on the hands of the secretary. And what I'm calling for this morning is for her to consider her position and potentially resign.
Okay, Mr. Robinson. Unfortunately, we have reached the extent of the interview. Once again, I apologize for not being able to get the clips up and running so that we could have had the full extent of the interview as planned. But hopefully, maybe we can have that conversation again some other time. But I want to thank you very much for your time, Mr. Robinson, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. P.S. Robinson, investigative journalist. I want to remind the public that the expressions and the thoughts of Mr. Robinson are not a reflection of Tobago updates. So that is it for the program. And we are going on to GMT, which is up next. But do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. See you tomorrow.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
We will recall that Operation Gulfstreams began on that fateful morning, just mere days before our National Carnival on the 7th of February 2024. The impacted area was something like 15 kilometers of space, starting from Scarborough, going way down to Pettigrew, just behind my back. And it resulted in the removal of waste to the extent close to 60,000 barrels of oiled waste and over 23,000 cubic yards of waste materials that were moved, which was stored at Stolly Park. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. The fisher folks are ready to go out to sea to check on booms, to make sure that the booms are intact. These booms were utilized. So you have that process taking place. You have diving taking place, looking at what is happening below the sea and the challenges. So this is divided up into two major operations. What is happening on shore, shoreline cleanup, and also out at sea, the inventorying of the vessel taking place simultaneously. And then at the end of the day, around 6 o'clock, you have after action review, where the chief secretary will call the committee and the players together and say, let us review the day, so you could identify what are the objectives, what are the lessons, what are the challenges, and what do you do the next day in terms of preparation. So those were part of the process to make a full day of operation. It took us 196 days of abatement, containment, and cleaning of our water courses and our beach area. After we would have dealt with the shoreline cleanup activities, the ministry had a responsibility to now take care of the vessel. That process they call de-inventory. The de-inventory exercise saw also another close to 30,000 barrels of liquids being extracted, or what you call hydrocarbon. That depository into the Scott Mulchan vessel, that activity took some 77 days of activities to take place, and this is where we are today. I want to thank you very much for all the support and the endurement that you would have extended to TEMA and the emergency workers during that period. I think it was well received, and I'm happy to be a part of that process.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. 74-year-old Frank Sandy of Mount St. George, Tobago, was fatally shot by an off-duty police officer who claimed the Sandy tried to break into his home and charged at him. Sandy, who suffered memory loss, may have mistaken the officer's home for his own after a disoriented early morning walk. His daughter, Melissa, said Sandy was unarmed, frail, and incapable of violence. She criticized the police's treatment of her father both before and after death. The family has little faith in the justice system, but hopes for accountability. Officers of the Tobago Division are investigating the incident. Additionally, on May 30th, 2025, Tobago police destroyed a marijuana field worth an estimated $525,000. Around 300 cannabis plants were found on a quarter-acre plot in a forested area off Bell River Road, Belgarden. The operation, conducted between 5 and 8 a.m., was led by PC Antoine and involved the Tobago Divisional Task Force and Special Investigations Unit. A camp and drying rack were also discovered. The field was destroyed and the investigations are ongoing. Senior officers, including WASP Sharon Williams and Inspector Backus, were coordinating this exercise. And finally, the One Caribbean Music Festival failed to deliver on its promises, leaving fans disappointed at the Queen's Park Savannah on Saturday night. Headliner Vybz Kartel was a no-show due to promoter management issues. News of his absence broke hours before the event, sparking concerns among fans. Despite gates opening at 9 p.m., the first act arrived after midnight. Local and regional performers like Joshua Rivaldo, Chronic Law, and Lady Lava tried to salvage the night, but with missing acts like Sizzler, Mali Dunn, patrons were visibly frustrated. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Now this morning we're talking about the arts, we're talking about performance, we're talking about culture. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with Miss Ascala George. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Good morning, Tobago.
So you are representing your fellow Tobagonians in this year's First Citizens National Poetry Slam. Is this your first time participating in the competition? How long have you been involved in arts and culture in this way? And how has it been for you thus far?
All right, so that was a nice question. Now, I have been a spoken word artist for quite some time. This would have been my fourth or fifth stint making it to the finals. So I usually make it to the finals whenever I participate. However, I am not the only Tobagonian that participate in this competition. We have as young as Sai, who participated, to even Cameron Bruno and other Tobagonians who have participated before. This competition, I believe, is in its 15th year of operation. It's held by Boca's Lit Fest, but sponsored by First Citizens Bank. And I have been in the competition maybe since its inception and consistently partaken.
Wow. And so, even as it comes down to the finals, how many persons are in the finals? And are you the only Tobagonian in the finals?
It's usually 15 persons are usually in the finals. 14 persons would have qualified for the finals, and then you will have the 15th person being the one who is defending their crown. Okay. In the finals, we had about 3 Tobagonians in the finals, so it is a beautiful thing to see our country represented as a twin island. Tobago voice is there on the stage. Spoken word, like speech band, is a voice for the voiceless, so Tobago does have representation.
Right. I mean, but in addition to doing spoken word, you have been involved in the arts in many other ways. You have tried to merge arts, culture, and education. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so for me, there isn't any separating of the two. So I love education, I love children, I love art, and I love uplifting my island and uplifting the people of my island. And I feel like Tobago is a very cultural place, from speech band to carnival, to harvest, to our many different traditions. And so I felt that it was my duty to also add to the preservation and promotion of culture. And I would have done that through visual art. I'm a painter. I would have also done that through graphic design. I design students' alphabet charts, number charts, storybooks, all Caribbean centered. And of course, I was part of the Black Hat Poetics, which is a spoken word group out of Bishop's High School.
Right. And how important is it for you to offer a certain level of access to maybe underprivileged youth to be able to have the level of exposure to the type of visual art that you do, and to allow them to understand that this is a lucrative pathway to take?
Yeah, that's a good question. When we had the pandemic, I worked along with another spoken word artist, Zakia, and she was working out of Miaro. So she did her own NGO charitable program for youths in her community, and we gave them spoken word classes for free, of course. That has not happened as yet in Tobago. That's something that I am working on for the July-August holidays, so that's something that you can look out for. And if you want something for your kids to do that is time-consuming, entertaining, educational, please look out for that. That's coming in July-August holidays.
Excellent. Now, how can persons support you in this Bocas Lit Festival in collaboration with First Citizens Bank for the National Poetry Slam?
I think that persons can not just support me, but support Tobago, because in your news for 90 seconds, you spoke about several things. You spoke about Mr. Sandy, you spoke about crime, you spoke about a lot of issues. And as poets, we give voice to a lot of the issues, and sometimes in a way that is witty, in a way that has a lot of bacchanal, but in a way that is palatable and can be absorbed and pondered, and you might laugh, but you would say, that is true. So you're not just supporting me, and you're not just supporting the art form, but you're supporting giving a voice to the voiceless. And how can you do that? You can do that by showing up to events like the preliminaries. When we have preliminaries for the competition, it's now in Tobago. No longer do we have to travel to Trinidad. The preliminary is normally in February at the National Library. So show up, support your artists, and even try your hand. You might get through.
And when is the finals?
The final went already. It's usually in May. So each year you'll have the preliminary taking place in February, then you'll have a semis somewhere between February and May, and then the finals is in May.
Okay, so when would they announce the
First Citizens National Poetry Slam? They have a page, so you just need to monitor the page, and they would announce the dates, and you can just follow it from there.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Well, again, we want to thank you, and we want to say, well, congratulations for you for making it to the finals, and we wish you all the best with all your endeavors, especially as it pertains to your work with youth and your camp that's happening during the summer vacation. So how can persons get onto you or find out more about the work that you are doing?
All right, so my name is Ascala George. So you can just follow my Facebook page. Everything it's not locked. it's not a locked profile. It's very public, and everything is shared there. So you would be able to see all the dates, all the activities, registration link. Again, because it's an underprivileged activity, it comes at a minimal cost. So just follow the page and you will be informed.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrell Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrell Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and this morning we continue our conversations by talking about all that's happening in the communities. This morning, Reclaiming Our Community from Crime is here, and on behalf of that, we have Miss Carla Matthews in studio with me this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Right, so now there's a lot that's being done by your group. Specifically when it comes to charity and community-based initiatives. Now, you have this fundraiser that you're doing, and this is happening on June the 7th. Tell us a bit about it.
So, we are having a pool party. It's a Kula Fete at the Police Association building. It's on, as you said, on June 7th. Gates open at 9 p.m. We have fun vibes. We ask that you come with your vibes, come with your coolers, no glass bottles. We will give you the ice and the chaser at a cost, of course. And we are trying to raise some funds so that we can assist our youth in the communities. We have a lot of activities lined up for the July-August period, particularly for the boys, especially those who would have completed the SEA exam. And so in order to fund those activities, we need to raise some funds.
Right. And how can families and parents get involved with what the ROCC is doing?
Right. So we have our Facebook page, Rock the Island. We have our Gmail account, rocktheisland@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram and TikTok, so we will place information there, and we'll also share the information with Tobago Updates, so you can look out for it on their Facebook page as well.
And so over the summer vacation, you're saying that there are a number of things that's going to be happening, especially when it comes to the young men and getting them involved, active, and, you know, getting them constructively distracted.
Right.
Tell us a bit about what we can expect.
Well, God's willing, we want to have a 2-week camp for the boys where we'll be exposing them to all the different types of activities, STEM programs, arts-based programs, for their holistic development. We also will be having Boys World, which is a day dedicated specifically for the boys. We want them to come and immerse themselves in an experience. What we foresee is not just, the run-of-the-mill, what you call it, the career day. It's not just the run-of-the-mill career day where you come and you collect a flyer and stuff. We want it to be an exciting experience. So when the boys leave that Boys World, they leave with understanding that, okay, I can do the physical part of the policing exam. I just need to get my 5 levels, that kind of thing. And they will leave with mentors.
Right. And how important is it to see the youth go throughout school and graduate and, finish school successfully, and the work that you're doing? How does it intertwine with that?
Well, we are looking at the holistic development of the kids, children, primarily the boys, because from going into the communities, we recognize that we have literacy issues. We have issues with our boys being targeted for gang involvement. So we work with FC National, the former Soca Warriors like Sid Gray and Brent Sancho and we have been having football clinics. We are looking at the all-round development. And so it's very important because, yes, you may want to become a footballer, a star footballer, but you have to understand the math behind it, the accounts behind it. You have to ensure that your manager isn't stealing your money, things like that. We want to expose the boys to literacy classes, to communication classes. So when scouts come, and they will come, you can represent yourself eloquently. You don't need someone else to speak on your behalf. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a holistic development of the children, primarily the boys. And so we'll be working with the schools, with the parents, with the communities, with the clubs to help to bring that adage back where it takes a village to raise a child.
When does the registration open?
The registration will be open at the end of June, but right now we're focusing on raising some funds so that we can know exactly how much we can do.
What type of partnerships are you looking for outside of, the regular fundraising events through this cooler party that's happening on the 7th? Are you open to sponsors coming on board to help you achieve your goal within the community?
Yes, most definitely. We have started conversations with some of the credit unions because one of the things we want is for the boys to be able to have accounts opened, and so that we start a culture of saving. And the agreement will be that they can't touch the money until they're 18. So you have to fulfill some requirements before the money could be released to you. Right? We also looking for corporate Tobago to come on board to assist in any way possible. It does not necessarily have to be monetary. If you can sponsor a meal, things like that, we appreciate any and every help.
Excellent. Well, we want to say congratulations to you and the ROCC team for this type of initiative. And again, remind us where we can get tickets for the Cooler Fest that's happening this weekend.
Well, I actually have a giveaway.
Right.
For the first person that calls this morning and could tell us, 1, what ROCC stands for, and 2, name 2 communities that we would have been in or worked with. You get a free ticket. And we also have ladies 3-on-1 tickets, $400. It's a steal of a deal, limited edition. So we have on our ads, we have numbers that you can call. You can call 287-4476, 494-8616. Those are the 2 numbers I can remember right now.
Right.
But on our ads, we have numbers that you can contact to get your tickets. And even if you're not a person that parties and you want to contribute, we accept contributions as well, because at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is to assist the children in the best way we can.
Right, and even if you can buy the ticket and give it to someone who might be more likely to go to a cooler fete, that is also acceptable. Now, guys, you are welcome at this point to submit your answers to the question on our WhatsApp. The number is right there on the screen, right there. You see it? So you can submit your answer. And she asked, what does ROCC mean, as well as do you know any of the communities that they have been in thus far? You can just say one of the communities would suffice. And we have one of the tickets is just a regular general admission ticket. Yes. And the other we have 3 women on 1 ticket.
Yes, so tell a friend.
Right, and so this is gonna be a really enjoyable event. As she indicated, you can walk with your coolers because it is a cooler party, but you have ice and Teresa would be available at the venue.
Yes.
How are persons expected to attire themselves for this event?
Well, it's a pool party, so pool attire is fine.
Right. So are persons, welcome to get into the pool and all of that?
They can, most definitely. We have shots on entry. We also have shots throughout the evening. We have little surprises. We have foam. We have a hookah station, not hooker, but hookah station for those who want to try that. So we have whatever it is that you need for the vibes to flow. All we need for you to do is to bring your coolers, bring your friends, bring your vibes.
Excellent. Well, again, guys, this is your opportunity to submit your answer to our WhatsApp so that you can be a part of this event. Remember that you can also share with a friend and use this as an opportunity to come out and have a great time this weekend. All right. So again, we want to thank our representative from the ROCC, Mrs. Matthew, and she has her tickets here and she is welcoming you all to come out and have an excellent time as they rock the island. Yes. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here. We'll be back right after this. So see you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TTBet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
Morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and this morning we continue our conversations by chatting with ASP Carlton Lathan. Good morning and welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Right, and now we are doing our usual TTPS update on all that's happening. Now, last week I had the privilege of chatting with the Commissioner of Police, and he indicated that specifically in Tobago there has been a huge decrease in the number of crime and criminal offenses, in 2025 compared to 2024. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, there was a significant decrease. As we can check with the most serious crime, which is murders, this year was 3, and all 3 has been solved. The previous year would have been 16. Also, most of the serious offenses have been decreasing. We have just 2 offenses that presently are predominant on the island. That is really breakings and larcenies.
Right, and even as it pertains to a recent incident that took place in the community of Bethel, we had an off-duty officer that shot and killed a young man from that community. Can you give us any update on that case? So what can persons see actually coming out of that? We saw that there was a silent march happening last Thursday, and persons expressing, their lack of trust and their lack of confidence that justice will prevail in a case like that. Can you tell us anything as it pertains to updates on that case?
Well, the matter is still being thoroughly investigated. The file has been submitted, and at present it is at the senior level where advice may be sought from the DPP as to where the way forward is.
Right. And is that young officer still currently on duty with the TTPS, or is he on leave? Is he suspended during the investigation?
He is on duty still. The investigation is still being carried out, and it's basically allegations. We can't just say someone is guilty without they having their say.
Right. But we did see a video that demonstrated a young man that was handcuffed, and we saw him being shot. So I'm not sure if we could say he was allegedly shot by the officer if it was seen that he was shot in the video.
All right. Well, there may be other videos. Videos are subjected to being edited. We aren't sure what is the truth. Only those who dare only seen would be able to account for what took place.
Understood. And even as it pertains to community initiatives and the community drive for the TTPS to take on a more customer-centric approach, and what are some of the things that are being done currently to engage the public?
Okay, there are a lot of community walkabouts. There are a lot of initiatives the officers are doing. They are going to different areas and partnering with the citizens to find solutions to crime problems and issues. The officers are also going out to schools, talking to the children, because, they are the future. And if we could get them to turn away from any type of looking to imitate the lifestyles of these gangs and stuff, that is what we are trying to do, all these initiatives.
Excellent. And what type of feedback are you getting from the community? Because as I said, on one hand, you have incidents happening. For example, I believe it was just last week where Mr. Sandy was shot, a 74-year-old man from Bell Garden. He was shot by an off-duty officer. How, in the midst of all of these incidents taking place where persons are completely losing their trust and confidence in the TTPS, are you in the midst of this doing the work to engage families and to make them feel heard and seen?
Yes, well, the officer involved, he also would have faced some traumatic experience from that. So he would have been spoken to, counseled to, and also the family of the victim. We also express our condolences to those families who would have lost loved ones. But in this situation, this matter is still ongoing. Investigations are being conducted, and we ask for persons to let the investigations take place. Let it continue. We know some persons are heated about certain things. Well, let us operate with a cool head.
Understood. And what are some of the key updates that we should be looking forward to from the TTPS currently?
All right. Well, there was a major drug bust where a field of marijuana was destroyed in the Bell Garden area. Approximately $525,000 worth of marijuana was destroyed by the Tobago officers. There are other initiatives in place for drug eradication ongoing.
And you find that these investigations and initiatives have been successful thus far, specifically as it pertains to capturing the persons involved, because we often hear about the bust, but we don't always hear whether or not persons are arrested in connection with that particular investigation and case.
Okay, sometimes you get the information that there's drugs in an area. You do your surveillance, but you have a time to operate in. People also are surveilling the police. They know they have their illegal things put up place there. and they have eyes around watching too to tip them off. So most times you don't really get to hold someone unless they have proper intelligence, then you can do that.
Understood. And even as the Tobago division of the TTPS is trying to do its best to solve some of the murder on the island, how can persons get involved to be a part of the solution and not the problem?
All right, persons are always encouraged to assist the police with whatever information they have. They can speak directly to the senior officers. If they don't have the trust in the junior officers, all the senior officers are available. They give their numbers out to the public, and they always encourage the public to come and speak to them. So all the officers at the senior level are accessible.
Right. And you spoke a bit about the counseling that's happening for the police officer who was involved in that shooting of the elderly guy, 74-year-old Mr. Sandy. What type of other mental interventions and holistic approaches are used for officers to help them to deal with the the pressures that come with the job of being a police officer?
Okay, well, the social worker takes a great part in this. So they refer to the social worker and they work through the issues they have, whatever problem, and find solutions to those problems.
Excellent. And even as it pertains to violence in schools, we saw recently a number of activities happening as it pertains to violence on the school compound being recorded, being circulated on social media. What is the TTPS doing at this time to help curb those occurrences?
Okay, as I said earlier, the officers are going to the schools and lecturing to the students. They always speak about bullying and those other types of things that are happening in the school. They try to guide the youths on the correct path. But remember, in the schools, police are not there 24 hours. So we are seeking assistance from all the teachers, even the parents. When your children come home, you speak to your children, guide them around the correct path.
And what can be done, or what is the TTPS trying to do as it pertains to, the circulation of these type of materials online and on social media? Because we're seeing a prevalence of those videos going viral and they being shared. And we know that, in the moment it might seem entertaining and interesting, but it has a lasting impact on the psychology of the students involved, particularly the victims. When you have to live it in one instance. You have to live being bullied, being jumped, being beaten by a group of persons, but to relive it over and over again by it being shared online. What is the TTPS doing as it pertains to that? And is there any way that parents can try to get these videos scrubbed from the internet?
Okay, well, the TTPS has their officers looking at these types of videos, and they always speak to the people who post them up to try to get it removed. Because we know it will have impacts on persons who are bullied. Because it comes like you're just seeing it over and over and over. And it might cause you, as an individual, seeing this, to fall into a depression or self-hurt yourself. So we try our best, anytime we see the videos and identify, we try to get it off the media.
Excellent. Well, even as it pertains to your youth engagement and engagement with education campaigns at the school levels, what type of campaigns are being done in schools to help to educate other students on the impact that comes from recording and circulating these videos? Now, in the moment, as students, they see a fight happening, it's all in the hype to take out your phone and record it and share the excitement with other persons. But do you think that it's important to have that level of education as it pertains to the long-term psychological impact of sharing this type of material online?
Yes, well, we always try to speak to principals also about phone use in schools. Phones, yes, it could be important to contact family members as a necessity, but some students use it for other means, and we try to discourage that. But although we discourage, some students still use it as a form of entertainment. Some of these fights and stuff are displayed all over, in real time, as you might say. And we try to discourage it. I see some teachers might ask for students to put away their phones, switch it off. And I know some parents are vexed when teachers seize the phones and say, well, you'll get it back after school. But we have to work together to shape the youths of tomorrow.
Excellent. And even as it pertains to, increased manpower and surveillance technology in the different units in Tobago, can you give us an update as to where we are as it pertains to that?
Well, I cannot say offhand exactly what we are. We have community police and we have the other branches that look into these stuff.
Right. And even as it pertains to, a greater allocation towards policing for resources, specifically in Tobago, we know that the police does not allocate money to itself. You have to wait on the government to, give those allocations for you to be able to fulfill your duty. But even in the meantime, what are you doing to supplement those resource gaps?
Okay. Well, our commissioner, Mr. Junior Benjamin, he has provided some resources for us in Tobago quite recently. We got some increase in manpower, we got some vehicles, and we also got training, different trainings. So what resources we have available to us is what we are going to use to expand through the island to maximize it.
Right. And he also indicated in our conversation that it's quite important right now for the TTPS to take a more service-centered humanitarian approach to how it deals with the public to help restore public trust and confidence. How important is that for you, even within that training, for officers to understand their first duty, which is to protect and to serve, but to help persons have that type of confidence that they can go to the police and feel comfortable taking that information or even making a report that something will come out of it?
Yes, well, there is training in that aspect also. So when you go to stations now, you will see a little difference in the way customer service is done. We have the sergeants now playing a greater role in the reception area, where we used to call the charge room. Sergeants are there. So they directly supervise the interactions of the citizens and the police. So if they see something, they could already put measures to correct it. If it's not the correct procedure, they're right there to direct it. So if officers and the civilians come in, have some confrontation, the sergeant or the SDOIC could use de-escalation measures so that the person who come to make the report will feel satisfied having made the report.
Right. And, is there anything that you want the people of Tobago watching this morning to know, or just a wider global audience to know, as it pertains to the work that you are doing to truly make for a safer Tobago?
Yes. Well, we continue to work together, community partnerships. We want the support from the public, and we want persons to come and give us information of any crimes so that we can get rid of this crime situation in Tobago particularly. As I said before, break-ins and larcenies are quite high for this island, and we are trying to get it down to a level of where we could say people are free now to leave their stuff and nobody going to interfere with it like years before.
Right. And what are some of the initiatives that persons can take on an individual level to secure their own property?
Okay. For instance, some of the tools that are stolen, mostly weed whackers.
Okay.
You could put them in your house. Don't leave it outside. Have proper locks on your doors. You could even have cameras outside your house. So that will be a crime prevention measure. And also you could properly have your house lighted, because some places they do have lights.
The outside.
Yes.
So those lights on the outside help to deter criminal activity around the property, as well as those surveillance cameras. So we are encouraging persons to invest in those cameras. It doesn't matter if you think that, you know, you don't need them, but a lot of the times maybe it might not save you, but it might save your neighbors if you are able to catch a burglar on camera. Well, we want to thank you so much for your time this morning and giving us all regular TTPS updates. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
I just want to let the public know the police are here and will protect them. And we will see a sharp drop in criminal activities soon. We have a strategic plan in place, and it will be rolling out in the different divisions, and all our officers are in support.
Excellent. Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's conversations. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And again, thank you to the TTPS for ensuring that they give us our monthly updates. We always look forward to hearing what is happening on the island, especially as it pertains to fighting crime. And we are happy to hear that there has been a huge reduction in the number of serious crimes this year compared to last year. Because last year we saw an unprecedented number of murders here on the island of Tobago. So that is indeed good news for us here in Tobago, that crime is being reduced. Guys, again, we want to say thank you for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have done and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.